If you have to be a role model, Jack Ma, Elon Musk, Sundar Pichai, whoever your role model is, where you are and where they are, how do you cover the distance? How do you even know what you need to work on? Don't tell, ask. So instead of nudges that tell people and the machine that tell people, how can you ask intelligent, smart questions to people? In a coaching format, in a psychology enabled format, how can you find the root causes and enable them with the intervention that they want to pick? That's the delta. That's empowerment.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of Pitch Cafe podcast. Today, our guest is very special because we go a long way back. I started my journey in podcasting with his podcast 2.5 years ago. Back then, he was starting his journey in Silicon Valley with his latest startup, InnerFit. Hey, I'm talking to a serial entrepreneur who really got me hooked about his pitch on being fit, not only externally on the outside but also inside. Do you know we are in an age where machines are controlling us? There was a time where machines were plugged in and humans were running them. Today, humans are plugged into the machines and machines are running the world. So he wants to change that. He wants to bring the human intelligence back, remove all the stress, all the social media tweets and twitters which are messing with our human potential. I'm talking to none other than the very successful IIT startup founder, serial entrepreneur Sanchit Garg, CEO and founder of InnerFit, who made a very bold move of relocating to Silicon Valley after he was riding the success of his first startup, TravelTriangle. He knew the who's who in India, everyone was after him, but then he wanted to come back and start from scratch and find his zen. So without further ado, let's bring on Sanchit Garg, CEO of InnerFit. Let's find out what this 100k ARR startup is doing next. Hello Sanchit, what a pleasure to have you on Pitch Cafe podcast.
Thanks Vidya for the amazing introduction.
Do you remember the first time we did our podcast? We were giggling away. We did not have infrastructure. We just had one camera. And here we are with all this amazing setup. I'm so proud, but also I'm, in awe of how life kept us meeting. We met at one of these SaaS conferences. Already a lot of VCs are knocking at the door for you. So tell us about InnerFit. Why did you start InnerFit? What was your motivation? Let's go to that Sanchit I met 2.5 years ago who was trying to find his zen and starting from scratch. Tell us all about that.
Awesome. So let me give some context. I am natively from India, from Jaipur, did my IIT Bombay Computer Science. I'm a hardcore tech coder, worked at a big company called Yahoo. Realized, I wanted to grow fast. So I started a company in India, TravelTriangle, along with my co-founders and a great team. We scaled it to $100 million company, 1,000 people team.
Wow.
Somewhere then I got introduced to the world of executive coaching. I learned how to listen to my team better, really listen. How do you speak up in hard conversations in the boardroom, make decisions when data is thin. Yeah, many more, right? Like there's always this zing in the back of the mind, you have to do this, do that. It all so much came down and it made me much more productive, empowered. And I could see that executive coaching is there for all the leadership across, especially in Bay Area, but not for people under them.
Right.
And how do you democratize this? How do you break this privilege?
Wow.
And that got me going to a level. I exited my company there, moved to Bay Area, worked as a psychologist, as a coach for 3 years with Dr. Terry Sohu, professor at USF, MRI, and now East Bay. And learned the techniques, got my executive coaching license, coached multiple founders. And again, being a tech product guy, built InnerFit to help, to empower millions of people to build their behavior that they want. Like not think work during sleep, not to procrastinate, feel lively, feel present, and much more.
Yeah. So to what Sanchit had to say, my first book was on about lifestyle hacks of successful people, and rightly, like Sanchit mentions, the top C-level execs have access to this. I've interviewed so many of them and I can vouch for that. But Sanchit's effort to democratize is something which really touched me. So I want to know everything about it. So Sanchit, tell us about your first experience interviewing. It is not easy to do a startup. At some point you may have thought this is scalable. To me, coaching doesn't look like scalable. It is one-on-one. Like you're talking to me, I'm getting coached by your insights. What made you think this could be scalable?
I think I was just stuck to the problem. What if, to the possibility of what if we can democratize it? What if we can scale it? There are like 500 dead bodies of failed startups ahead.
Yeah.
Who have tried, nothing worked. People, in excitement, pick it up for a day, and after 4 days, nobody follows through the app. And that was the challenge I was trying to solve.
Yeah.
Now we have 70% plus month 6 retention. Every month, 50% of our user base say, hey, I can prioritize better. I'm not thinking work during sleep. I'm appreciating my team, which is in effect motivating them to do more. I am able to push back my clients. I'm negotiating hard on the unnecessary meetings I have.
Wow. And these are not really C-level. These are under C-level.
Yeah, C-levels have executive coaches. They are fine. But it's about the entire team.
Expensive.
Which is expensive.
What is it like? What are the rates like for executive coaching?
I pay like $600 per hour.
Oh my God, $600 per hour. Can you believe, for executive coaching?
And that was in India. If I had a similar coach in US,
right,
I would have paid at least $2,000 to $5,000 per hour.
$2,000 to $5,000 an hour? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I mean,
why would somebody get to a point where they pay so much money? What is the stress like at sea level?
The stress is humongous, right? You have to juggle multiple priorities. You have to influence so many people with different mindsets. Tech people think very differently than the sales people and so on. And they're always balancing work and life and your passion and interests and everything. So the stress is there, but it is not just about getting a coach for your stress.
Yeah.
It's also about getting a coach to be who you can be. Like if you have to be a role model, Jack Ma, Elon Musk, Sundar Pichai, whoever your role model is, where you are and where they are, how do you cover the distance? How do you even know what you need to work on? That's where executive coaching comes in.
The CEO of Zappos, correct me if I'm wrong, he was like a Zen guru. He died on a drug overdose or something. Do you think he had pressures like this he was dealing with? Because he had everything in life. He had some of the best advice anyone could follow.
Correct. I mean, in the Maslow hierarchy, you always have the next level you want, right? Once you have solved everything in the life, security and everything, then you look for love, and then after that you look for aesthetics and you call self-actualizations and all. So everybody has their own place that they've figured out, and then they're figuring out, and some fail at some place. I can't, talk a lot about Tony. I don't know him personally, only as much as, the media has offered, which is, we all know. So can't comment on that, his stress, but yeah, everybody is stressed out.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the CEOs of large companies, Google, Facebook, SpaceX, Tesla, so at some point they do give away some behaviors which show that they are going through stress. They're resorting to something.
Everybody is stressed, no matter how high up you go. In fact, it's not a function of how much you have. There's a curve which shows that as the GDP per person increases, after a certain point of time, your gross happiness index drops.
Oh wow. Because you kind of think money can buy you everything, but it does not.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, you sort of have expectations beyond. You have everything, and then you have high expectations, and then they keep getting unmet.
You expect from your return on investment, you start expecting from people.
Yeah. Wow. There's no end to it.
So you are after a really big problem, not only on individual scale, but on scale of people.
Yeah.
So let's call you the next Deepak Chopra of corporate.
I'll be humbled for that.
No, I mean honestly, you are a high-tech Deepak Chopra, I would call, because you are leveraging technology. You're playing the same game technology plays on people. Basically, it hooks them into these timers, and you are de-hooking them and bringing meaning and purpose.
Yeah.
Now, no, you gave me a very beautiful example of a sales person getting into stress. I know a lot of salespeople. They go through therapy. They have a lot of health issues very young. So Sanchit, give us an example of a sales executive. What does the current system do to sales executive, and how do you kind of bring them out of that through InnerFit products?
In my previous company, I managed a sales team of 500 people.
Wow.
Amazing, smart folks, very lean team.
Right.
And I could see every month they had to start on day one from zero.
Yeah.
Dig the well every month from scratch, meet their quotas. And the way I've seen the journey of sales enablement is 10 years back you had these system of records like Salesforce, like CRM, which would tell people, hey, you need to meet your monthly quotas of say 10 sales.
Yeah.
And then came a system of intelligence.
Yeah.
Hey, we are recording your every call, every email. And
it's very intrusive.
That's intrusive, but that's how, companies, everybody is now recording the calls, emails to the customers and saying, hey, you can do this better, you can do that better. You don't have a meeting set for today.
What is that application called? What do you call them?
You can call it Gong.
Yeah, I heard it from so many people. Does it have an emotional intelligence built into it? It detects moods, it detects low voice, low confidence, because I see that on Siri, the voicemail.
Get it.
It tells the person's confidence is low or whatever. Maybe they have voice issues. They're sick, you never know. So same, does Gong have it?
I don't know if Gong has it, but I'm sure the application does exist. I'm sure some other tool would have it, and there are some good tools that have sentiments.
Yeah, entering into the person's moods.
Yes, but and that's one area to go after. But my point is that the machines have started telling people what to do. Sometime back it started with just meet your sales quota of 10. This is where you are, you need to do more.
Yeah.
Then now you're recording their every email, every call and telling them, hey, you have not done any meeting for last 2 days. Set a meeting today. So it's more granular. And think of, everyone telling people on what to do. It just adds to their stress.
Yeah.
And you don't send these nudges or these, to-dos to the leaders. They get executive coach.
Yeah.
Now, in contrast, executive coach talk to leaders like, hey, what do you want to do? I wish I could speak up and negotiate hard with some clients.
Yeah.
What's stopping you?
Yeah.
I sometimes feel those clients might leave away.
Yeah.
Hey, how can you enable yourself?
Yeah.
I can do this. How can we remind you for this? Maybe like this.
Yeah.
So that's a very different conversation.
Correct.
That an executive does to a leader.
Yeah.
Versus what these machines are doing with the humans.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, just go and do this. Just set the meeting. Maybe in a more positive, way, but essentially the same message coming from the machines.
Yeah.
And that's where, we need to bring the same level of executive coaching, same level of enablement, empowerment, and not like a telling granny or a telling auntie. You need to bring that.
Have a why. You give a context. Humans don't listen to commands; they listen to the why.
Exactly.
Why? Some sort of context. Yeah.
So exactly. So you have to bring that level of executive coaching, but in a way that it can scale to everybody.
Yeah.
And that's, if you can solve it, imagine everybody is empowered to solve their own blockers, to solve, whatever their red KPIs are or whatever, but in a way that they are empowered to do more.
Yeah.
And not only they can give more, do more, showcase better results.
Yeah.
And we have seen multiple of our clients showcasing better SLA responses, better win rates, quota rates.
Wow.
But also they feel more empowered.
Very nice. Tell us about some of your client wins. You just mentioned like the sales team, they're very happy. What are some of the other client wins you want to talk about? Like you felt like, wow, this is working. I can only imagine how happy you are.
So I'll mention this very special company, Capillary.
Okay.
And the entire team, Sridhar, Anish, Meheli and other leaders who gave us the first chance to demonstrate. It's a company, a tech startup in a marketing B2B SaaS domain. And there are 700 people company. They started 8-9 months before with us with a small pilot team of 50 people from their customer success and the sales team. And the leaders said that, hey, I want to be in my top performers, I want to reduce my attrition, and I also want to improve my OKRs that the team has, like customer SLA response times. And we got the team onboarded. It was a quick onboarding. They started picking up their skills that they wanted to improve. We started sending these nudges, but they were very coaching nudges made by psychologists, made by coaches, which would ask them questions and not tell them what to do. Questions like, hey, if you're not able to push back to a client, what's stopping you? And then people would say, I feel anxiety about the client may leave away. Or I want to 100% impress the people. Or I want to be perfect with my work before I even go to the client. Or I'm just demotivated, I'm not aligned with what's happening. And based on these problems, as a psychologist would understand, the system will give them more nudges or interventions to start improving on them. And people can choose what they like, what they not like.
I have seen executive coaches, perform miracles with this.
Yes.
There's this book called The $1 Trillion Coach. Essentially, that's what this coach is doing. These companies with $1 trillion market cap, the heads of those institutions, based on his basketball coaching experience, he's doing that. Maybe that's something very sporty. Did that ever cross your mind that in sports teams, this is what coaching does and that's what you're trying to bring to employees?
See, coaching is, even the work, today's work is like a sport. It's like a high performance function. You have to manage multiple priorities, influence multiple people, balance so many things. It's a high performance thing. And the principle of coaching is same. Don't tell, ask. So instead of nudges that tell people and the machine that tell people, how can you ask intelligent, smart questions to people? In a coaching format, in a psychology enabled format, how can you find the root causes and enable them with the intervention that they want to pick? That's the delta. That's empowerment.
This is so new, so unique. You're looking to sport and mapping a sport to your high performance corporate life culture. So guys, check out InnerFit. Is there some demo version or free version? Listeners who can be C-level execs or otherwise, maybe they are programmers, maybe they are directors. Every month I have somebody come and approach me who are either wanting a promotion or they're limited by their family and work criteria, who want to achieve progress in work, and I go on one-on-one coaching calls with them. And I feel bad, this is not scalable, and these are not stars of the company, these are normal programmers, normal product managers. So what can they do?
So we will put the link in the comments below or the description below. It will be a free link. Check it out, install the app or the Slack bot, and it will help you pick up your skills, ask you start questions. And as 1,000+ users experience so far, you will see that slowly over time, you're getting empowered to drive behavior that you want to build. Teams have said, I can prioritize better now. I'm spending time in planning first. I'm delegating my team without worrying about control. I'm appreciating my team and seeing them more motivated. I'm not thinking work during sleep. My procrastination has reduced. All these behaviors you would see, and the sales leader that they have seen in 3 months is that the SLA violations, customer SLA violations came down, the win rates went up, and that's where Capillary gave us the entire team for a year to improve their behaviors for their particular OKRs or their employee NPS. But it's much more happier, productive organization if every day, just for 10 seconds, they can think the positive seed with InnerFit.
Hybrid workplaces, virtual workplaces, these are the future, and I can't think of a better fit than InnerFit to go in and get into the virtual layer, get into the computer interface and humanize this whole experience. So Sanchit, what's next for InnerFit? What is in the pipeline? What are you looking for? Are you looking to raise money? You seem to have a lot of interest from investors. I meet you at these conferences where investors love talking to you. What is happening? What's in the pipeline?
Yeah, I think we are a very unique product opening a new category, and we have raised good money. I do want to mention IIT network, all my IIT network seniors, and they're all founders at big companies. Some of them have invested in the company, some are given the pilots.
Right.
IIT startup has enabled us in a lot more ways, in Bay Area.
Yeah, IIT Startups is a non-profit organization started by IIT alumnus who are in the Bay Area, making it easy for founders to find funding. So these are for founders based out of US? Or,
Yes.
Okay, IITians here in the United States, they can reach out. That's how Sanchit got his network. So Sanchit, I always find that on my channel, founders loved your first podcast. And wherever I posted it, a lot of people liked it. So I won't wrap up without asking you, what is your top three, what are the top three things you want to advise founders who are trying to raise a seed stage? I work with a ton of startups who are trying to raise funding at the seed stage, and they come to me for podcasting and marketing. So what is your advice to them? How can they not fail? How can they not go around in circles when they don't find funding?
So there are a lot of frameworks about, every founder can see 100,000 frameworks from the experts. I don't want to add more to those frameworks, but from my experience, I can share that, pick up a problem. I picked up a problem that I'm really passionate about. And I know it will take me a longer time to solve it. But because my passion is there, I can brace the ups and downs.
Right.
That's one. Second, creating a right inner circle with your investors, angels, mentors, team members. I've created a right circle so I can go and just find a shoulder sometimes, in my ups and downs. And also get a lot of criticism and encouraging comments both. That helps me drive. So finding the inner circle is important. And third, not to sacrifice your own self, because pre-PMF everybody is sort of, you're saying, hey, this is my product. Investor says won't work. First customer say won't work. Even the employees you're trying to hire would say, won't work. And that's fine. But, don't sacrifice yourself. Keep building, keep having your life as you're building your PMF. Yeah, that would be some three things.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you, Sanchit. The most valuable hour you spent with me. You're most down to earth, and I had a really good time, talking to you last time and this time. Next time when I meet you, I'm sure there'll be more exciting news.
For sure.
Thank you so much, and love to have you back on Pitch Cafe.
Thank you, Vidya. Have a great time.